Hey guys, welcome back. I'm taking a little bit of a sabbatical. I'm hibernating for the chaos to come. As you know, if you've followed me at all, I predicted back in 2017 that 2024 would be a very tumultuous year on planet Earth, that bad things would happen, things that would change the way that we operate as a society. Uh, it would be centered around America, but it would be global. I thought that this would be some kind of conflict or a natural disaster. I often talk of Yellowstone and that supervolcano erupting. But since I made these predictions, we've had a global pandemic that shut down basically the economy of the world, that made inflation go sky high, that made food prices basically double. Then we had Russia invade Ukraine and take back the Donbass region. And then we had Gaza somehow slipping by Mossad and attacking Israel on 10/7, which, if you think that Israel isn't good at surveillance of Gaza and the West Bank, you're ridiculously silly. They know everything that happens, whether it's on a digital device or spoken out loud or written down somewhere. They have drop mics that they can lower from drones, and they can pick up sound from thousands of yards away. They know exactly what everyone's seeing, and this is tied to an artificial intelligence system that searches out keywords, and they can figure out exactly who's saying whatever they want to know about whenever they want to. Gaza is the most surveilled persons, Gazans, Palestinians on planet Earth. They're utterly controlled population. If you think that Israel didn't respond for hours after the attack, and that they just let these people paraglide over their border wall, this was an attack that Israel let happen so that Benjamin Netanyahu could go into Gaza and clean house. They believe that this land is all theirs, and right now Gaza and the West Bank are taking up valuable, pristine waterfront property. And if you know anything about the Jewish population in America and Boca Raton, you know that they like their beachfront property. Well, Israel has a lot of ties to other things as well that we should be looking at right now. The World Economic Forum, the WEF, under control of Klaus Schwab and at the behest of Jeremy Jurgens, this year in January, we're running a simulation that's called Cyber Polygon. This is a simulation that basically supposes that a huge cyber attack hits the West. This shuts down all critical infrastructure. This shuts down banks and digital money transfers like SWIFT. This cripples our entire economy. And companies like Blue Sky and Cyber Reason, with one R, Cyber Reason, have been slowly invading our digital platforms, and companies' back doors have been pushed wide open by Cyber Reason and by the CTI League, the Cyber Threat Intelligence League, which is a group that offers free cybersecurity pro bono to powerful institutions, and they've offered these pro bono services since the beginning of the pandemic. They go into hospitals, health insurance companies, other pharmaceutical companies, for instance. They go in and offer them free cybersecurity to help them during the pandemic, because apparently a lot of Russian hackers were attacking our digital infrastructure. This is bullshit. They were being granted access to some very important information. And since then, now they control things like nuclear power plants, the cybersecurity, that is, dams, electrical grids. Basically, the plan is in 2024, based on this simulation called Cyber Polygon that the WEF ran in January, once again under Jeremy Jorgens. The idea is that a cyber attack, a false flag cyber attack, will happen in 2024 that will shut down our entire country. You won't be able to buy anything at the supermarket. You won't be able to use your money or withdraw it from a bank, use an ATM, use your telephone. You won't be able to get on YouTube. You won't be able to turn on your lights. This will all be done through a cyber attack. If you've noticed recently, online personalities like Jordan Peterson and Elon Musk and even Nikki Haley, the golden child of the neocon party, have been pushing for the elimination of web anonymity. They're stating that everyone needs to be identified, that to allow people to be anonymous is a threat to our security. So after this gigantic cyber attack that the WEF supposes will happen in 2024, they're going to say that everyone needs a digital ID, a government-issued number, in order to sign on to the internet. And everything you do online, everything that you post, everything that you watch, everything that you buy, every transaction you do on any apps, everything will be tied back to your ID number. You will no longer have anonymity. So your positions, if you try to hide them on places like Twitter in order to be part of the discussion without having to worry about getting canceled or fired from your job, that will no longer be possible. The whole cyber threat, the whole shutting down our grid and grinding our economy to a halt is just to trick the American citizens, to trick us into getting a digital ID in order to regain access to the internet. After a couple of days, people will be going fucking crazy. They'll do anything to get back on the internet, and they will take that mark of the beast quite willingly. They will do this in order to get access to fucking TikTok. And then after that, that digital ID will be tied to your financial information. It will be your digital wallet for your government coin as they eliminate cash. This will also be tied to your medical files and your vaccination history, so that every new pandemic they roll out, like white lung or COVID, everything they roll out and make a little new vaccination, an mRNA triggering of your DNA, your government enforced gene therapy will be tied to your digital ID as well. Another thing that they will do is say that this cyber threat was carried out by, guess who? Iran, in order for Israel and the United States to spread the war going on between the Palestinians and the Israelis to a larger regional conflict. This will happen before 2025. Like I said, I predicted this shit back in 2017. Look up Zadenberg. Look up CTI League. Look up Cyber Reason. Look up all these companies that are tied to intelligence agencies, and look at the people who are taking part, the groups that are taking part in these simulations. It's the CIA, it's the British intelligence agencies, it's the Mossad, it's large banking institutions like Bank of America and Chase. Our banking system right now is in deep doo-doo. And they will eliminate cash by making something like a government Venmo where everything will be tracked and everything will be fucking taxed. They will have complete control, and they will be able to turn off your money, turn off your digital existence whenever you do anything that they disagree with. This isn't just censorship. This is complete 360 mental control. Control of your personality, control of your relationship status, control of your ability to provide yourself with resources through granting your labor, the ability to control everything. Now, I've been working over the last, fucking my entire life, and I've saved up a little bit of money, and I'm going to buy hundreds and hundreds of American Silver Eagles myself. That way I have something to actually stop the government from. You see, whenever they roll out this digital ID, they're going to say, well, how much money did you have? And someone will say, let's say $10,000. And they're like, well, whenever you switch over, instead of having zero, we'll give you half of that, or 20% of that, or 10% of that. And everybody will have a small amount of money in order to bribe everyone into using this digital wallet that's tied to your digital government issued ID number and your personal information, and it will streamline the surveillance process that they already have using dragnet systems like Edward Snowden told us about, where they can harvest all of the data from the internet basically and know exactly what you said. They can know what fucking letters you deleted as you're typing a text message. Like, they can know thoughts that you have that you don't even share with other people because you decide to not express them. Things that you type into a search bar, and before you hit enter, it records that information. Even if you choose not to search for it, they will use this to not only shut down your identity and your ability to communicate and your ability to earn money, but they can also criminally penalize anyone they choose to by connecting your digital ID number with a GPS coordinate of a terrorist attack. They can say that you were part of a riot that you weren't a part of, like they did with January 6th. They can put fucking child porn on your Google Drive and arrest you and put you in jail if they don't like what you're saying, if they don't like the message that you're spreading, if they don't like the thoughts that you are having. I mean, I recently saw an advertisement for a movie that I watched decades ago that I just thought about. And you only get, I have very few movies advertised to me on YouTube. But I just happened to think about this movie. Maybe my eyes turned up at a particular part of remembering this movie. I was connecting it to another video. And maybe the artificial intelligence that they have running algorithms on YouTube identified that you were thinking about something. It hypothesized that you were thinking about a particular movie, and then it decided to offer you that movie for $3.99 because you had thoughts, because of your facial cues confirmed you were processing something, and it is so omniscient that it is able to piece that together, figure out what you're thinking about, and then post it online for you to fucking buy. If you think this artificial intelligence is intimidating and all-encompassing and omniscient, then just fucking wait. It will get a lot more impressive. Since 2017, all I've done is talk about artificial intelligence. All I've talked about is the growth of this beast system that we're living in. All I've done is mention things that are now starting to, like, the world is starting to bring into fruition. The world's conspiring to make my conspiracy theorizing real. Who would have thought that since 2017, my predictions would come to pass one after a fucking another? I talked about all this years ago, and now it looks like I was fucking right. And now I'm warning you that in 2024, there will be a false flag attack against the digital infrastructure of the United States of America. It will be used to bring about a government-issued internet driver's license of sorts. It will be tied to a digital currency the government will roll out to replace cash, so they can fucking tax everything and know exactly what you're doing, know all of your habits. And so they can invade Iran. You see, the powers that be have wanted the Book of Revelations to become reality since Adam Weishaupt and the founding of the Illuminati. They are pushing prophecy forward. They're making Revelation come true. They are creating a world which will be apocalypsed. Just think of how the ancient Canaanites, the Carthaginians, the Phoenicians, how they operated. During the spring equinox festival, they would dye Ishtar eggs red. They would dye these eggs red to represent child sacrifice, because on the previous year's spring equinox, Easter, they would take all the girls who hit puberty, all the 12-year-old, 13-year-old girls that had their first blood, and the priest would devirginate them at the ceremonial spring equinox orgy in the festival of Ishtar. And girls that got pregnant from this breaking of their hymens would have 3-month-old babies the following year at the next year's festival. And if these babies were male, they would sacrifice them to Baal, the bronze bull. This would be done only to males, as we can tell by looking at the graves of Tophets in Libya and northern Africa. These sacrifices were men, boys, male babies of 3-month-old. And the girls would be taken back to the temple to be raised as child sex slaves, where they will be sold to foreigners who came into the temple. These would be the holy prostitutes of Ishtar. So the men would cut their testicles off in order to be closer to Ishtar during the heights of this drug-fueled orgiastic celebration on the spring equinox. So men would cut off their genitalia in order to be closer to the divine feminine. Babies would be sacrificed. In some cases, they believe possibly even eaten. And there would be prostitution of young girls, prepubescent girls, girls who are less than a decade old, that they'd be raising in order to be the perfect prostitute. And the temples, the priests would sell them out and collect money. These things are still happening today. They're just being carried out secretly in the ceremonies of the elite. They're pushing trans ideology very hard, just like it was in ancient Phoenicia, in ancient Canaan, in Carthage. They're pushing pedophilia normalization. They're pushing the legalization of what they call sex work. They're pushing this because it's been a part of their religion for 5,000 years. These people are still in control today. When Hannibal attacked Rome and failed, that was not the end of the Carthaginian Empire. It just turned into a secret society, got passed around Europe by the descendants of that civilization, and now operates in the shadows. They've corrupted and co-opted the elite by blackmailing them sexually. And whenever they don't like what you're doing, whenever you go against the grain, they kick you out, kill you, destroy you and kill your reputation, fire you, and make you destitute. This is how they do it. It's kind of like a big, beautiful yacht that all the rich people are on. And as long as you're there, you get free drinks. You can have as much pussy as you want. You can sleep in a silk king-size bed with all the accommodations you could ever hope for. Eat the finest meals. Be in the company of all the other millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires. And you'll just have the grandest time ever. But if you ever want to get off the yacht, everyone on the yacht makes sure that you drown before you get back to shore. You have to stay on the yacht or you die. That's what we're experiencing right now. So be very careful. Cyber Polygon, this simulation, is being created in order to show you what they're doing. This is a tacit consent. This is engineering consent. They have to show you what they're doing before they do it as part of their religion. It's the only way they can be justified of the sin, is if they share it with the population. And if the population doesn't do anything about it, then that is giving your consent. So do not offer your consent. Do not allow them to perpetuate this evil system. Expose it. Check out Whitney Webb and her unlimitedhangout.com website. She's a journalist. She exposes rampant child sex cults that are running this Western civilization. She exposes the banking apparatus conspiring against the government, and she leaked this information about the World Economic Forum and their planned cyber attack to bring us under a digital one world government. And she connects that to things like Jeffrey Epstein and intelligence agencies. I think we're going to see more crazy things happen. I think we're going to see the invasion of Taiwan, opening up a third front in this World War III. I think we'll probably see the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his expulsion from the race. I think we'll see Gavin Newsom become the new Democratic challenger who will be pushed to be the new president. I think that Trump will go to jail and people will be very pissed off because here in the South, people fucking love that guy. Even though he's fucking, all of his information is gathered from Fox News and he hasn't read a book in fucking years. But whatever. You need to pay attention because they are plotting and they're telling you exactly what they plan on doing. And in 2024, like I said years ago, some majorly crazy shit will happen. And I try to lay it out to you as I see it. There's more I could go into, but fuck, this is almost 25 minutes, so I'll let you go. I appreciate you watching, and I'm sorry I haven't posted in a long time. I have been hibernating away from reality, getting ready for the chaos that's about to erupt. And I've been dealing with some personal things. I had to mourn the loss of my family. I had to get over the fact that everything I cared about has left. And I had to become an individual, which I never wanted to be. But in order to continue to progress in this spiritual journey, I had to heal. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. Things are looking bright. For the first time in a long time, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, even as the world collapses around me. So keep your head high. have a stiff upper lip and try to remember that you are loved by a creator that is all around you, that has only the best interests of humanity in its divine plan, and that this entity is not what you think it is. It's more part of you than the Christians or Muslims or Jews even speculate. It is growing inside of you. People are starting to realize this. It's fucking everywhere now. Remember, things will get better after they get worse. I'll make another video in a couple of days because I feel like doing this now. I feel like sharing and exposing and jumping before I slide down the hill. So, thanks, guys.